watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching. Watching Soulful Discussion.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How did our paths cross today? How did you and I just meet right now?
I mean, I was just going around on my walk at the beach.
Yeah. And I approached you, right? What did I approach you about? What are we doing?
We're doing a video on mental health and reflexology.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, one other thing. Yeah, 3 things.
Is that correct? What was the other thing? I'm sorry.
Feet. Your thoughts about feet as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, in terms of feet, you hear feet, what's the first thing you think about?
I mean, you walk with them. Without them, you can't really,
Absolutely.
go anywhere, explore, go around,
Exactly. So, we're going to ask some questions today to you about that, like just in regards to feet in general. We'll get your thoughts about it. You can feel free to answer however you like, okay?
Okay. Cool.
What about mental health? Any topics that maybe like come to mind when you think about mental health?
Probably anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple people, they suffer from that. They suffer from anxiety.
Okay.
But at the same time, when you talk about mental health, you don't have to go all the way, to the bitter side. You can go also like, mental health, self-love, mental health.
I love that.
The
positive things.
Yeah, the positive things.
Okay. So today we're going to ask some questions about your thoughts about social media and the impact it can have on depression and anxiety, okay?
Okay.
So in terms of reflexology, you ever heard of it before?
Yeah,
Good.
I have.
Yeah, so glad when I meet people like you that have heard about that. We're going to talk about that and you can let me know how you feel about it too, okay?
Okay.
So first question, what are your thoughts about how the world's starting to become more aware of mental health and what we're doing about it?
I think right now because of COVID, like everyone has been isolated.
Yep.
So it's been really good. It's been better to be able to go out there and everything. Yeah.
Some definitely positives there, absolutely. In terms of social media, right? What are your thoughts about social media? And then how do you use social media yourself?
Probably Instagram would be like my favorite one. Just like going around and, I like photography also.
Okay.
So every time, I see nature or something, that inspires me.
Yeah, something resonating with you, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're like, let me take a picture of this real quick. Because I think the one thing I like about Instagram and I guess Facebook is kind of like that too, but it's almost like a scrapbook you can like create like of like special moments and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's definitely cool. In terms of social media, right, there's one thing you could change about it, right? Somebody gave you the power to change whatever you want, what would you change?
Oh my God.
Let me ask you this, because kind of like to maybe help you out a little bit.
Right, yeah.
Do you think it's more the platforms that people use, or is it more the people who use the platforms that need to change, like in terms of that? Because like I feel like there's like positive sides and negative sides to utilizing social media. But which one would you think needs like more help? Is it the platforms or the people?
I mean, probably like both.
Okay.
Maybe
a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both because there are sometimes some people that I don't want to be mean or anything, but there are people that are trying to just like get more into your life because of it.
It's true.
So it's probably that could change a little bit because you sometimes don't want everyone to know everything,
So you're talking about the anonymity, right? That's what you would want to like maintain, like keep that like to people who like privacy and things like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
You're gonna be able to choose who you want to share it.
Absolutely.
To.
I agree. In terms of things that bring you anxiety, right? Is there anything that like makes you feel anxious or anything like that? And you don't have to go too in depth, just maybe more surface level. Anything that makes you feel like that.
Okay, you mean with social media?
Oh no, in general, just in life in general, yeah. Because like for me, it's crowds, like large crowds, like so. I'm good with like maybe like a crowd of 25 to 30, right? When the numbers start to go up, and I'm talking about like in a tight space, like if I'm like in a space like we're at the beach and it's like kind of more spread out, I'm not really close to those people, so I'm good. But like if I'm like, for example, like in a store, and like there's a sale going on and there's all these people, like that makes me feel anxious.
Yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, it depends on how I feel on my day, like, but sometimes also probably large crowds, and not being able to know, like what's gonna happen next, like
the future, basically.
The future, yeah.
That's a big one, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of women I've interviewed so far, they said the same thing.
Right.
So let's get into these questions. I'm be intrigued to see how you feel. What are your thoughts about your feet? How do you feel about them?
About my feet?
Yeah. Do you like them? You don't like them? You're different?
I mean, I've gotten compliments that I have like nice toes, but I don't know. Probably like it depends also like on your height and everything. Like I remember when I was younger, I used to be like, I would like to have smaller ones,
really?
But right now I feel a little bit more confident about it.
Proportionate with your height
yeah,
and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you received compliments before. When you get a compliment about that, how does it make you feel?
I guess it makes you feel good, It makes you feel like other people appreciate you.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Especially something like that's more detailed, right?
Right.
Cool. In terms of like a compliment about that, right? Or compliments in general, right? What are things you like to get complimented about, right? If somebody's gonna give you a compliment, what would you prefer for it to be about? And it doesn't just have to be physically; it could be anything.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, probably like personality-wise, because you don't always, as a woman, especially, you don't always want to be told like, oh, hey, you have like nice boobs or whatever. Like,
I mean, those are like more compliments you can always hear. But I guess like hearing from like a guy or something like that saying like, man, I really like vibe with your personality. I think that you have a beautiful soul or something like that. That makes you feel really good. Yeah,
that would probably be a better compliment in my,
Okay, I like that.
In my perception.
Absolutely. In terms of like if you're gonna start dating somebody or you were dating someone, right? What is something you would consider to be like a potential deal breaker? Something you're like, I can't deal with that. I always get women to say in this moment, like I got a list of them. I got like a whole. How many do you want? I'm like, give me as many as you want.
Right.
Like, bring them off.
Probably, probably dishonesty.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, if they're always like wanting to be there, like that's not.
Okay. You need your space.
Yeah. Sometimes you do need your space. So
I like that. So you don't want somebody that's clingy, like that they want to be there every single moment. You want somebody that's like, you can go do your own thing, I do my own thing.
Right. And then we can get together. Yeah.
That's dope. Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of pedicures, how often do you get them?
Pedicures? I mean, sometimes I like doing them like myself, but at the same time,
sometimes you need to go.
Yeah, sometimes you need to go.
Okay.
Well, get one. So probably like once a month or so, especially right now with gel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You get the gel pedicure.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that last a little bit longer. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before?
A what?
Medical pedicure. You ever heard of that before?
No, I don't think so.
That's when you go see like a podiatrist. It's a specialist of the foot. They'll take a look at your feet to make sure like your nails grow correctly. They check your toe alignment to make sure it's right. They check for like dead skin, fungus. Do all the work there with like medical grade equipment. Now they don't polish them with like colors, but they do have clear coats that they'll do. But they're actually there to like give you more insight into like things you might have wrong with your feet. What would your thoughts be on seeing somebody like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's also important also because, like there are people, and I mean, myself included, sometimes like they have smelly feet or whatever, so it's not.
No, you're right. No, for sure. You take your shoes off.
I'm being too honest, probably.
No. You're in a room and you take your shoes off, and like sometimes that happens, and it's like it's okay, but maybe you can go somewhere where they can help you out with like what you can do to like avoid that, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In terms of shoes, how often you wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops, things like that?
It would probably depend on the weather, but that's also like I feel sandals I like to wear more when I'm at home. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How often do you go barefoot, no shoes?
Barefoot.
Yeah.
As a Hispanic one, probably. Yeah.
I hear that all the
probably
time.
I couldn't,
I hear that all the
because
time.
parents are always like, "Oh no, don't be barefoot,
Yo,
otherwise
man.
you're gonna get sick."
That's a good one. I like
so,
that.
but also, I mean, I do have also some Persian background, and they're always
Okay.
barefoot. So,
Yeah.
I do enjoy that too. That's why I came
Okay.
to the beach. I was like,
All right. So you heard of earthing and grounding before. That's kind of what you were doing.
yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Do you feel a difference when you're doing that? Like you let your feet in sand or grass? Does it feel different for you? As opposed to like wearing shoes?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I do like, I mean, I was craving earlier, like something like sand or, something to be able to be in nature.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what it's supposed to do, make you feel that freedom and like just kind of just rooting and like feeling like at one with nature. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, especially on a Sunday.
Absolutely. Sunday you just need to chill and like just relax, right? Before we gotta get back to the rat race of work, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so now can we see what your feet look like?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I mean-
Let me get you. Is it okay if you take the sandals off and put your feet here? Is that cool? All right.
Is it okay?
Oh, just sit. You can sit and then just take your sandals off and then put your feet up here.
Okay, it feels a little bit awkward. But
Okay. Can you put both
they're
feet?
like,
Don't worry
yeah,
about that.
They're filled with sand.
Don't worry about that. Okay, because this is where we kind of get into the mental health portion of like the interview. Okay. Let me get you to extend your feet out and let's see the bottoms. Okay. All right. So how are you feeling? We're going through the interview. We're asking you questions. We're taking a look at your feet now. How are you feeling right now? What are your thoughts? You said it feels a little bit awkward, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this, right? Why does it feel awkward? Is it because it's not something that's common? It's never happened before? Is that why?
Probably.
Probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're always like with your feet on the ground.
Yeah. So let me kind of give you some background about my channel, right? And let's talk about the mental health portion. Have you ever heard of exposure therapy before?
About what?
Exposure therapy?
I mean, I've heard the term. I'm not familiar with it.
So here's what exposure therapy is about, okay? Exposure therapy is about, like, let's say you're uncomfortable with a situation, right? Putting yourself out there without, like, knowing what's going to happen and expecting a positive outcome. So you may feel uncomfortable with the situation, but stepping outside of your comfort zone. That's basically what it is. So let's say, for example, you have a fear of approaching strangers, right?
Right.
Therapists will tell you to, like, don't approach strangers. Do it over and over again.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone.
And get used to feeling uncomfortable because, like, there are going to be moments in your life where you're going to be, like, hit with things unexpectedly and you can't always run away and be like, I'm not going to deal with that, right? So basically, in the past, like, I wasn't somebody who, like, was good with, like, situations like that. I would overthink situations.
Okay.
Whether it was, like, approaching a pretty girl and, like, asking her out. Like, right? In my mind, oh, she's got a boyfriend, she's going to say no, like, all these different things. Realistically, I don't know until...
You answer the questions yourself.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't know until I actually go and do it, right? So basically going out there, putting yourself out there, you can like experience life to its fullest, experience the best out of life. So I was like, I heard about that and I was like, oh man, that's really dope. Like that's something that like I feel like can help other people out. I want to take that and I want to put it with feet because a lot of people feel like uncomfortable about feet. They feel like it's weird. They feel like it's like weird connotations and things like that people have attached to it. So I'm like, let me talk about this with like going out and interviewing women, seeing what their reaction is to it, seeing what they think about it, right?
Yeah.
And,
is it specifically women or is
yes,
it
and I'm gonna tell you why. So basically, so that let's say if somebody's interested, right, in that, right, and it typically tends to be men who are like attracted to that in a woman, right? Some guys feel uncomfortable expressing that because they feel like they're gonna be looked at as weird. They're gonna be looked at as like something's wrong with you or something like that. So they're gonna be like judged. So like my channel is all about trying to create normalcy around the conversation. So like if a guy wanted to tell you like he was dating you, he wanted to tell you, he could do that without feeling like he's gonna get judged or that he's gonna get looked at as weird or anything like that, right?
Okay.
And I'll give you an example.
Your audience would be mostly guys.
I have a lot of women watch my channel too,
Okay.
believe it or not. But I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by that, right? One of the guys who watches my channel said that he was dating a girl for 2 years. Never disclosed to her that he had a thing for feet because he was afraid that she would basically like look at him as weird or something like that, right? He finally mustered up the courage and was like, I'm gonna tell her.
Yeah.
Right? He tells her and she's like, don't want to do it. Nothing to do with that. And so 2 years you put in time, like with this person who you really care about, And it's not just like you just like feet, that's just something that you're attracted to, right? And he feels like now he can't express that to anybody because if he does, the same thing's gonna happen again, right?
Right.
So through my interviews with women,
he's got like
he's got
post-traumatic.
Exactly. So through my interactions with women, right, I want to show the different like reactions I get, right? So that if anybody's interested in that and they want to express that to a woman, they can feel like confident in doing it and be like, okay, she might say no, but there's a possibility she might say yes, but I don't know until I do it.
Right.
So that's what my channel is all about, the exposure part of it, right? What are your thoughts about that? Like me kind of like tying those things together.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at the beginning it was mostly, you know, for guys since they're usually like the ones approaching.
Who have like that attraction and everything. Yeah.
They're the ones approaching the women, but I could feel also how it could relate to girls, you know, because sometimes there are instances when we have like the same sort of mentality, you know, like we're like, oh, maybe like I shouldn't be the one talking to this guy because they're you know, and especially because of like the gender roles, you know, like he's the one that's
he's supposed to come after me, right? And I've actually found that, right? I've actually found with a few girls like where I've like talked to them later in life and they were like, oh, I actually liked you, and like I just never, and I was like, in that moment, like I liked her too, and I never said anything because like I'm afraid, she's afraid. So I think we all do it. And that's why my channel is about trying to create positivity around something that most people may see as weird or strange, creating a positive like conversation around it and making it normal. So that's what it's all about. Cool. Let's talk about reflexology and I'll let you get up out of here, okay? So reflexology deals with the different pressure points you actually have in your hands and your feet. Those pressure points connect to various parts of your body. So through massage, through acupuncture, through acupressure, you can alleviate like stress and tension to various parts of your body. So if you're somebody who deals with migraines, for example, there's a portion of your foot and your hand that you can massage that will alleviate the tension you feel in those moments.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it on your feet only, not on your hands.
Oh, it's in your hands too, And they have like these areas that are called, they're mapped out, they're called zones, different zones for different parts. What are your thoughts about that? You said you kind of heard about it. You're familiar. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, at the beginning, I was like, "Come on, if like my arm hurts, like, how are you gonna touch my?"
It's like,
feet,
how's that gonna help me? But it actually helps. Like, it's like a big thing. Like, if you've ever known people who've gotten acupuncture done, they put all these different points into your different parts of your body, and it alleviates like that tension and stress because all these parts are like connected to the brain. Your foot has like all these nerve endings and stuff because that's the bottom, that's the foundation. So it's the same thing.
Yeah. I think,
top to bottom.
I think I can remember. I've actually done it before.
Okay.
So it's.
What was your feeling afterwards? Did you feel relaxed? Did you feel good?
Yeah, most definitely. Because it does help. But yeah, I mean, I would probably also like a massage, you know.
Absolutely, everybody. Like, who wouldn't want a massage, right? But you hear some people who say like they don't like massages. It's actually quite odd, but yeah. So in terms of that, now we're talking about reflexology. Let's talk about sensitivity. How ticklish do you tend to be?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
When you go get pedicures, are you ever like ticklish? Yeah. All right, I have a trick for you. Do you mind if we test it on camera to show you like what the trick is? Is that okay?
You mean on my feet?
Yeah. Is that okay? I have a tool. I'm not gonna actually touch your feet. I have a tool to use. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. Cool. Put your feet out straight.
You came prepared.
I came prepared, and it's a reason for that too, right? Because I was like, some people don't feel comfortable like having their feet touched, so I was like, I want to have something that I can use to like alleviate that, so that they don't have to worry about that. So that's part of the reason why I'm actually using it. So let's actually start with this one first. I want you to tell me where it's sensitive at. Which foot is most sensitive, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Does this one feel more like a massage? Is that what it feels like? Do you feel it anywhere? Do you feel it anywhere?
Yeah, it does feel ticklish.
Where
like
at?
More towards the bottom.
More towards the bottom, right here. Okay. Let's try your left. Tell me if this one is more, okay? Do you feel this one more or less? Less? Seems like it's less. Do me a favor, wiggle your toes. Tell me if you feel it more or less when you're doing that. Is it less?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Do you know why? You know why it's less?
No.
So here's two things. Your mind's actively thinking about doing something, right? So it's distracting you, right?
Okay.
Number two, your feet are in motion, so it can't pick up on the sensation because your muscles are moving. So that's pretty much it. Let me try with this last one, and then we'll see what we got. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Cool. Now tell me this one. Now this is actually created. This was created by somebody to test sensitivity because some people tend to not have nerves in their feet, and this is what this is for. So let's test it out. Let's see. Okay, tell me where it's most sensitive at. Okay, where do you feel it most at?
In the middle, probably.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
What do you say the scale is? Is this one worse than the last one? This one's more, or is it less? Feeling more? I can tell you feel more. You're like moving a little bit. Put this one up. Put your feet up straight. And then where do you feel this one at? The same place? Right in the middle?
Yeah, probably in the middle.
Okay. What's the scale on this one? Like, because you said the other one was like 5 or 6. What's the scale of this one?
Maybe a 10.
Maybe a 10? Oh, okay. Really sensitive. Okay. Cool. Let me get you to do a couple exercises with your feet. This is to test flexibility, dexterity. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort while you're doing it, okay? Put your feet up straight like this. Bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort while you're doing that. Is that easy to do or hard to do? Easy?
Yeah.
Okay, relax.
Easy.
Spread your toes. Tell me if you feel any pain, discomfort while you're doing that. Is that easy to do, hard to do?
Easy.
Easy? Relax. Wiggle your toes for 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort while you're doing it. Is that easy to do? Pretty easy? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Relax. All right. So here's a trick for you. If you ever have like problems with your feet, they're like stiff or anything, take a golf ball or tennis ball, roll your foot across it in the mornings. It'll loosen up the tendons, the muscles, and all that. Okay? And just practice some of those movements to like create more flexibility. Let's wrap up the interview now.
Yeah.
In terms of my approach, coming up to you asking you to do an interview, was it good? Was it bad? What were your thoughts about my approach?
I mean, that was probably behind us. We have an ice cream truck, so I was thinking about like, oh, I don't have money for ice cream.
Oh no! It's like I ain't got no money for no ice cream or nothing like that.
And then you approached me, and I was like, sure, why not? I mean,
absolutely. In terms of the interview, right? Start to finish, did you see everything was going in the line? Did it make sense to you? Did you learn anything new?
Yeah, probably I did learn a bit more about reflexology.
Yeah, so some interesting things there.
Yeah,
right?
some interesting facts.
Learn about some sensitivity, right? How to like move your toes to like alleviate that, right? The last thing I'll ask, from a mental health standpoint, a life lesson you learned, some wise words somebody once said to you that you could share with my channel. And it could be anything. Maybe something you heard in a song that you're like, oh, that's really dope. Let me talk about that. Whatever you want.
Yeah. In terms of mental health.
Yeah. Anything that you think is like helpful, like in terms of like that could be helpful to somebody else.
I feel like we should know that everything always happens for a reason. It's very, sometimes you. Oh my God.
You okay?
Yeah. What is that? I think that was a mosquito.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think I try to think that everything always happens for a reason. You know,
Okay.
it's not.
It's not by
Like
accident.
that, it's not by accident. Yeah,
Okay.
you were meant to be in the place where you're at.
Okay.
So.
And that's interesting because I think the same thing, right? When I do these interviews, sometimes I can like interview one person, right? And sometimes like, that person may say they're uncomfortable, right? And that interview ends when it's supposed to so that I can run into somebody else. Or I walk in a direction, right? That maybe I was like thinking about not going there, but then I run into somebody who's like, yeah, they're down to do an interview, right? So I think the same thing you're saying.
I'm probably like very, sometimes I do think I'm sort of like an existential person because I'm like, yeah, I just feel like this happened because of that, you know?
Yeah,
Otherwise, like, that wouldn't have led me to probably like thinking something else, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guess what? I thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping to do this interview with us. I know it's not an easy thing to do. Definitely appreciate you, and we hope you have a great one, okay?
Yeah, you too.
All right.